this is Melanie, Moviemavengal for Pardesi. I've just come home from seeing the new Malayalam Tamil film Solo starring Dulquer Salmaan. I saw it in the Malayalam version, but we were lucky enough in Chicago to get both the Tamil and the Malayalam at the one theater in Chicago that plays Malayalam films. It's alternating showtimes there on one screen on this Indian movie theater. From the different teaser trailers that we've seen, there's 4 shorts in this film. The director and writer of this film is Bejoy Nambiar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I have not seen any of his previous work. He did one thriller film in the Hindi industry with Amitabh Bachchan and Farhan Akhtar called Wazir. I did not catch that film, and I know he's done some other shorts. So this is a series of 4 short films connected by the themes of the 4 elements surrounding Shiva. And so there's really cool artistic drawings of Shiva with the different elements between each of the 4 stories. Each story takes place over a span of 4 years. Each story has a twist, and like I said, each one is to a different element. So we got 3 of the teasers. I don't think we ever got the 4th character, which is actually was my favorite story, the Trilok one. So like I said, each of them has a twist. This is going to be a completely spoiler-free review. I may come back and discuss it more later, but I don't know that this is really set out to be a blockbuster film. It's an experimental film. It's so visually interesting, especially the segment that has to do with water. There's so many different places that have the water element in the story with, you know, be it rain or pools. And there's one image that will stay with me. I don't think I'll ever forget it. The actress Dhansika is dancing with her dance troupe in a shallow pool of water, and the water is going everywhere. There's doing these graceful movements and dances, and it was an incredible visual sequence. Those elements don't necessarily incorporate visually as well, but thematically they do, you know, for air, for fire, for earth, and all the other stories. It's really a showcase for the actor Dulquer Salmaan, who is playing these 4 very different characters. We've seen in the teaser trailer, one is a college student, one is a gangster, Shiva, that's the fire element, as you could probably guess, and then one is Radhika, who is a soldier. And each story is very different. The titles, I won't tell you which goes which are The Cyclist, Blood Ties, The Affair, and I can't remember the 4th one right now. But anyway, they're all, I think because they're shorts, for an Indian audience, I'm just wondering, they don't have necessarily that depth of emotional connection with the audience, because you don't have 2.5 hours with each of these characters. You only have 1/4 of that time to spend on each character's story. And they move very rapidly. You know, like I said, each one moves through a period of at least 4 years. They're really interesting stories. Some of them have a better twist than others. And I will just say the last story went a place that I totally did not expect, and actually brought out some laughter from the crowd, which I don't think was the intended effect. Let's just put it that way. It felt more soap opera than having the resonance of maybe some of the other stories in the movie. So I don't know if that last one will leave a bad taste in the audience's mouth. I mean, what the reports that I've been seeing about the anticipation for this film in Kerala seemed to be like it was going to be a blockbuster, and it's just not that kind of film. So if you're watching this before you see that, go into it with an expectation. I'm going to see something experimental. I'm going to see something out of the ordinary. I'm going to see something visually interesting, but not necessarily I'm going to see a masala film or a really deep 3-hour Malayalam film that's going to give me real depths of lots of characters, because you just don't, you know, like the Mahesh's Revenge movie that I watched earlier this week. You just don't have that much time to spend with all the characters in each of the stories. Now, I thought the actress Dhansika and Nithya Sharma had the most screen time of the four women, and they were both very, very good. Dhansika, her dance moves were, wow. I was really, really impressed with that part of her story. And I just, you know, like I said, some of them were more effective than others. The Trilok story really had a good twist. I could see that one being expanded out into an entire thriller feature-length film, you know, and that story would have been effective. And I can only sing the praises of Dulquer because, I mean, I am a huge fan of him. He is the entire reason that I watch Malayalam films. He is maybe the only person that would get me to drive 45 minutes on a rainy night to see, you know, his latest movies on the very first night. Since it's out the same night as in India, I just felt like, okay, I've got to go. And you know, to me, it was worth it because I was seeing him do a tour de force of four very different characters. The character of Shiva, the gangster, has only one line. And so he is just, with his silence and his demeanor, saying everything through that whole story. It was really effective. I've seen him try to do dark characters before, and I think this was the best yet of him trying to do that kind of dark character. So I'll be interested if any of you have seen the film and what you thought about it. I really liked it. I mean, for me, I don't know, I would give it 3.5 to 4 stars. And I have seen this get very mixed reviews, some as high as what I'm saying, and Bharadwaj Rangan only gave it 2 out of 5 stars. So it's really getting all over the map. And part of it may be, what expectations are you going in? This is more of an, I don't know, an indie feeling kind of a film, you know, an independent cinema, a parallel cinema. It's not, you know, this a large scale kind of film, and which is why there's really great music in it, but that Rashomon song is almost too big for this kind of movie. Now, I mean, I love that song, and I was singing along in the theater, but it's almost too big for this kind of film. You know, it just kind of takes you out of it for a moment. It is good with that character, but still, it's almost too big of a song for this kind of a smaller film. This is almost like nothing that's like the same themes, but it's kind of like Bombay Talkies, the Hindi film. Or I was also thinking about the movie Traffic. That had an overarching story, which this does not in the same way. But in the same way where you have all these small stories and you don't get the depth necessarily of any one story, but you're getting a lot of little stories, that it was sort of like that too. So anyway, I credit the director for giving me some images that I'm probably never going to forget. Really beautiful visual images, some great performances of Dulquer. So I really enjoyed it, but I just want, if you know, go in with these expectations and not like, you're gonna see action hero Bijou or something like that. You know, it's not a big film. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please, if you like this video, share it, press that like button, and also I'd love for you to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at PardesiYT.